I'm Whitney.
I'm Brooke.
And today we are talking about time of set. So Hailey's joining us as well. We are talking about time of set. So it's ASTM C403. And Brooke just got to run it for the first time the other day. So
it took longer than I expected.
that one is a little bit of a monster.
Yeah, and does it vary depending, I mean, I know it does, vary depending on the mix, but generally does it take?
It takes a long time.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
you know, you're taking, for those of you that are not familiar, you're doing a big concrete mix with your full-size aggregate, usually a 5767. Goes a little quicker if you have the rounded, just it's a little easier to roll over the grate, but you make up your concrete, you throw it on a sieve, and, not a grate, and then you get to roll it all around with your hands to get like the paste out, and then you put it in a 6x12 mold that's cut down, and you're measuring how quickly it's setting with a
penetrometer, and it's probably like we cut the molds at 5 inches, so you're maybe getting like a 4-inch
four and a half, somewhere
so.
around there.
Yeah, and then I think what was our first reading? 2 hours? Did we start checking?
No, we started checking at 4 hours, and depending, I mean, if you're doing like a high early, you're gonna want to start checking probably 30 to 45 minutes. With this one, it was 4 hours, and I think it was. We were still not getting anything at 6 hours, which it was kind of your run-of-the-mill like residential concrete, so not super high performance, not anything that was setting up quickly, but it was. I'm trying to think the last reading. I think it was close to 10 hours for final set. So it's kind of an involved test, but I mean the whole reason you measure your initial set, and then you decrease the increments in which you're measuring it. Until you hit your final set, and that just obviously gives you an idea of how quickly your concrete's hardening, how quickly you can get traffic back on it, and those sorts of things. So
yeah, and just to clarify what it is exactly, so you're taking this maybe 4 inches of this paste that literally you're like running through the sieve, that was a process.
Oh, it's such a process.
You have it on a 5-gallon bucket, and you're scoop after scoop, and then ditching the large aggregate.
You have to get 3 samples.
Yeah.
So it's not just one quick little.
Yeah, and 40 minutes later you take off the sieve and you're like, oh, there's this much paste. I mean, it was a process, but then you take that sample and you put it underneath the penetrometer, and it measures how much resistance.
Right.
And
Look at you.
With the time, that's passed with the
Correct.
concrete. Obviously, the harder it is, the more set it is. So.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, and that is the 403. I mean, it's one of those fresh property tests, but your slump, your area, your unit weight, those are the ones that you kind of run all the time. Those are like the compression, the bread and butter of the fresh property. So the time of set, you're not running super frequently, but that's always used in the 494 and the 1709, and that was what we were doing it for, was a field trial validation of the 1709. So it may not be one that you see or use often, but it can be incredibly helpful. But it definitely is a process.
What's it used for?
Yeah. So the faster it sets up, the faster you can get traffic out on those roads, which construction is expensive, or they don't like closing roads. Obviously, it causes a big hassle. So.
Or strip your forms, or just moving the critical path forward, in essence, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Whether it's a pavement or structure. So,
I'm sure you can have it too fast of a set, right?
Oh, totally. I mean, you're just measuring it with the penetrometer. Like, it's not,
But when it sets too fast, there's other concerns down
curling,
the road,
drying shrinkage. Oftentimes some sort of durability issues, but that's another video. Anyways,
just good information to have with
Absolutely.
Any mix you're doing, but especially validating the field trials. So,
and I think a great way to get your feet wet. That's when there's a handful of tests that you have to have a little bit of a strong to power through. It's just,
that one. Yeah,
it's not super straightforward and just. We love compression. Slumps, it's just quick and easy. You do it and
get
you're done.
Your numbers right away.
It's like doing laundry. Like, it's a process,
Exactly.
You can't
every half hour.
Another part. So anyways, but thanks so much for joining. If you have any questions or comments, please throw it down below. Like, subscribe, ding that bell for notifications. Go concrete.
Beat asphalt.